It's Oakmont. I've popped by major week to see what's going on, to learn a few things about any products that are hot this week, and I have managed to bump into this thing, the MG Proto from TaylorMade, that is on its way to you soon. This is going to be a forged wedge that is out on the tour, getting tested. You're going to come and have front row seats with me to see what goes into the testing process, learn all about Tommy Fleetwood's journey with this wedge and how he's got it in his bag. And also there will be a build of Tommy Fleetwood's exact spec of the MG Proto, which are going to be given away to you guys. And it's all in this video. Dive in those comments for your chance to win it. Let's pick a winner for Oakmont, see how it's going. Tour Trick Tuesdays when we're announcing it. Let's go get into it. So fresh new products in here, mate. Yeah. Let's talk us through. I mean, look at that for a start. The full shamonkey from front to back, every loft under the sun. This has got to be exciting for you being out week in, week out, seeing this. Yes, yeah. So the old cliche about Proto and then how that works on tour, it really is just getting, you know, the last piece of the puzzle. Trying to get tour feedback so that we can make final tweaks to the product to make sure that it's performing for the best players in the world. Before it goes out to you guys, right? For sure, yeah. So you're getting a walk-along view. Adrian's going to give me a little bit of a rundown of what he's been doing with this. You can see there's some names on the wedges already. Let's start with Griffin. He popped it in and won straight away, right? Yeah, so these are, so Memorial was our first week with the Proto wedges. We would normally, you know, probably run wedges for a good 3, 4, 5 weeks. Make sure you touch everybody, hit everybody with different grinds, different bounces, get the feedback, and then that will go back into R&D. Nice week at Memorial because 5 players put them in play straight away. Which is ridiculous for a brand new wedge, right? When you go with 5 guys putting these things in. Absolutely, and then you move towards the US Open this week and they're still in, and we're picking up some more players as we're doing some more testing in these conditions. And we're on a golf course that you need to be a proper wedgeman. We were talking earlier about the builds that are being done, and we were discussing high lofted woods. DJ's going with them, which is great, but they're getting taken out because these things are going to be so important. The rough is so thick. Yeah. Another great week for a club like this. Greens are firm. I mean, your precision with your wedge is probably something that can be the difference this week for you. Okay. So, you know, like I don't want to be, as we're still in the prototype phase, for me, you know, if you had a look at our MG4 wedges versus these wedges, you're going to see subtle differences in the shaping. You're going to look at the groove and you're going to go, wow, there's something different in there. You're going to look at the leading edges, and then you're going to look at the bounce options. And I think that's something that I can probably talk about now in a little more kind of surety is in our testing since Memorial. We're really happy with the bounce offerings that we've got. You know, we're not doing a lot of grinding, which is a great thing, right? Because you can replicate it with the mill grind, and you know, you're looking at like an SC, right? So there's your SC grind, and so what you're looking at there is like a mid to low bounce wedge. Yeah. A little bit of heel relief, little bit of. And you can really see the C camber here moving from my finger through. So it gives you relief on the heel, relief on the toe. So if you do tend to play one toe down, or you open that thing up, now you've got the relief, but you've still got the bounce in the middle. Absolutely, mate. And this one, yeah, I mean, this has been a surprise for me, to be fair, because it's a kind of mid to high bounce wedge. We're calling it the SX. And this is really, you know, if you look at particularly like the top of the world rankings and those guys really high up there, you're seeing a lot of these like kind of wide sole kind of wedges going in play. Not necessarily wide sole high bounce, but like kind of mid bounce wedges. But how would someone test that wide sole in the bounce? So, what would be an ideal course for it? I would say you're kind of mid turf conditions, right? Not too soft, not too hard. I always think of it in a way of like your leading edge gets the club into the ground, your sole gets the club out of the ground. Now, how you want that club to come out the ground is basically, this would be like a smooth transition, probably a steep angle of attack because you don't want the club to keep going and you want it to get out, but then not high bounce, you know, because you don't want the club to kind of bounce out the ground. You kind of want it to have a smooth transition and exit. There's a demand out there for this type of sole, and we're putting it through the paces so that we can design and have our version of it for performance. So one of the things that we always say here is you must have a squad of golf clubs. Look at this wedge drawer and how many different options there are here. Remember, turf conditions changed based on the season, so you can, and for tour based week to week. So you can get into these low bounce options, and then you can get into this now new testing phase with the SX, where you can have the slightly wider sole. Now, one of the players who's been well versed in testing this, you've got his name written on here. I know you've done a lot of stuff with him. Talk to us a bit about Tommy Fleetwood and his process, getting his yardages dialed first, then moving into.
So for somebody who doesn't play, he only plays 2 wedges most weeks. So it's a 52 and a 60. Every now and then he'll throw in a 56 when the course calls for it. But for the majority of the time, he's got to cover a wide range of yardages with those 2 wedges, right? So when you look at the way he dials in precision, he's literally got 3 pace swings, full, smooth, and shoulders, he would call it, and those would produce 3 different yardages.
Yeah.
So for him, he's exceptional at that. And if you look at the data and the stats, why would he change a wedge? But in his mind, he was like, I'm exceptional there. I could hit my bunker shots closer. I want to figure out how to do that.
So there's the gap.
So there's the gap, right?
And that's what tour is about, right? You find the gap, you find the product,
exactly.
And then you work into the gap.
And the true validation of any product or anything is where you can give something without taking it away.
Yep.
So in his testing process, we went straight into what he does great, right? And made sure that he wasn't giving up anything in those areas. Consistent spin rates, consistent launch angle. He has to see 28 launch. Anything kind of pops up or goes lower, that's 2 or 3 yards dispersion.
On what yardage does he have to see 28?
I would say everything to probably about a 60 or 70% swing.
With a 60 degree.
With a 60
Got
degree,
to see 28, nothing above it.
Yeah.
Because that means it's grabbing and it's launching.
Exactly, consistently.
We did a video on testing your wedges and when to put new ones in. Launch angle, that's where this originates from.
Absolutely.
So he hits all his yardages with all his swings. You guys go through that process and then you move into the traps.
Yeah, exactly, right. So to give you another example of just where we end off with that, he ends off at a point where he hits his 60, 100 yards, 103 yards exact, and then he will go from there, he'll take 5 yards off every shot.
Yeah.
And there you'll see the precision. He goes all the way down to 50 yards. And then we're moving to around the green, hitting chip shots, hitting different, ones that check, ones that release.
Yeah.
And once he's checked those boxes, because he's exceptional at that, he's not giving up anything, now he wants to move into the bunker
to see if it's got a chance.
And that's where I think we our Greg Cesario, our wedge expert at TaylorMade, we just decided let's build up every bounce option we have and see what these things do in the bunker. He's going to give you the feedback.
Yeah.
And that was a great testing session because what he realized, some of the wedges he hit once, some of them he like the SX and the SB, he bounced around between those two, and I think the difference between the two obviously being the width of the sole. What Tommy figured out was there was nothing hot coming out of this sole in the way he delivers the club in the sand.
Now, will he change that though? Because that looks significantly narrower in this prototype version. Yeah. Will he change that based on the density of the sand week to week?
I don't think so, because he's pretty precise. He's almost wanting less help out of the bounce so that this can get through the sand quicker, more consistent, and the ball comes out softer and super consistent in terms of the way it releases and the way
he's getting out of one bounce.
I mean, it was, and a lot of these golf courses are, you're short-sighted or you're well below the surface of the green, and for him, it was actually a point of, instead of hitting it to 3 or 4 feet, he wants to hit it to 2 to 3 feet. So the margin's tight, but he certainly found that, and he's got a 60 SB10 in play. This week he'll play 3 wedges, so you'll use the 56 SB12, and then he uses a high toe 52.
So there you have it. You get validation from some of the best players in the world when you're testing at the place that you like to do it, so you can give it all your yardages. Let's make a mill grind proto wedge in Tommy Fleetwood spec, and you can come along for that journey. So let's take a look at this SX 11 degree bounce 60 in the mill grind proto. We're going to take you on a step-by-step build for Tommy Fleetwood. It is the popular bounce that they're trying out here at Oakmont. It's what they've been using the last few weeks on the tour. When you've got a sole that wide, people want to try it. As I remove the peel here to the protective layer, you can see that this is saying forged on the hosel, which is a sign of a product that gives it that authenticity. It's going to be mint. If it's a forged product, that's got to be pretty damn cool. So straight into this, Iron Ferrule's first up. As you stay along with me for the build process, we'll just check the glue's good to go. It is. First things first, we're going to do a little bit of a tip grind on our wedge. And all you're trying to do here is get it to the point where the epoxy will stick to that. Then I can pop my ferrule on. Now, when it comes to swing weighting wedges, we want to pop in our heaviest weight just to allow it. So that goes into a pocket that is down in the hosel. So 35 inches cut on the build. Remember this is a BCT grip from Golf Pride, so you have 1/8 of an inch. So it's important when you measure if you're doing end of grip or you're doing cut length. Here we've got 35 cut. So notice how I'm spinning. This is a steel shaft S400, so you've got to spin as you go through. Otherwise it'll be a struggle to get this through. It'll give you a bad cut. Take the burr off. Every step of the process is for the next step. So weight-wise, I know that a grip with one tape is going to take me up 10 swing weights. So straight away on the dry build, before there's any glue in here, I'm just checking the swing weight is going to be close to where I want it. So we're looking like we're in the right spot. One tape BCT, one wrap. If your loft and lies are away from standard by quite a bit, you can bend them at this point. So Tommy plays 61.5 lie angle. So it's worth just bending this at this point so that we can then adjust the length accordingly if the club comes out that bit longer, because you can gain a bit of length by going that flat. So just adjusted the loft and lie machine to accommodate the fact we had a lefty on here a second ago. Moving this piece in to touch against the toe so it holds my blade of the wedge a good distance. You want the grooves right in the middle before you clamp that thing tighter. So set up right now on a dry build, it's coming out at 64 degree lie. So I want to move this to 61.5. So soft. That's that forged feel, forged finish. Just so soft, so easy to move. 62. Half a degree. You can just feel it. Once you've built so many of these things, you can just feel the move. Check that. So there's 61.5 on the lie angle. Loft, he's playing at 60.25. So this is actually a little strong. Sorry, a little weak. Just a slight tweak. And again, you can feel that. Still on the dry build. Perfect. So then our loft and lie are dialed. So we won't have to check that again through the process. But the length, I just want to go back to. It's a USGA ruler, so it holds the housing of the wedge perfectly. Now you can see by going that much flatter, I've gained fractions. If you want to come in here, you'll see it. I've gained fractions, but I just now want to get rid of that 1/16 of an inch off the end. So we'll stick a mark in there. And that's what we're going to cut. Just take the end off this, no problem. Perfect. So now you're in a process of, let's check. BCT is a cord grip. Worth checking out some of the players. The same grip Tiger plays. So brush cord technology on there. We'll check the one tape. It's going logo down. So for this, it's all about just getting the swing weight. So if I do that, now I'm going to get the exact swing weight. Remember, I've got that weight still in the head that I haven't got out yet. So I just want to see, when I was looking at the dry build, I was like, this could be on the money. Yeah, got lucky. So I used a weight earlier to get the exact length of this. That weight now is in there as I got everything cut, but it's coming out at the perfect swing weight. Swing weight is your balance point of the club. So you have to go through this process in order to make this shaft play exactly how Fleetwood wants it to feel. So once there, I leave myself half a swing weight of room for the glue, place that in, drive it home again. Perfect. Sure everything's in there, a bit more glue, just check we're good. You don't want super amounts of glue that goes up the hosel itself, you don't need that. We've already got the quick center in here, so you can hear there's a bit of grit going on. That aligns the shaft perfectly into the hosel. Clean this up as good as you can. Then we move on to our curing cell. So you align your shaft graphic there at the back, no problem. Get the perfect height. Now at this stage, you set a timer, 2 minutes 30, so start the timer. But this glue is going to heat up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is only going to need 2 minutes 30 to be dry and then able to take out on the golf course and play. It's a tour truck, so the speed at which you do this is imperative. so you can get ready for the next step. You can join us again in 2 minutes. Well, we've got 18 seconds left. I did mention to you there would be a giveaway of this wedge in this video. To get your hands on this, you need to follow TaylorMade on YouTube, follow me on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Get down in the comments. This video's gone out on Saturday. Tommy's out on the golf course right now. There's your timer. He could be doing the business. You got to pick who you think is going to win and place it down in those comments. If you guess the right person for the win, and you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, and you are subscribed to TaylorMade, then you will be getting a chance to be selected to win this brand new MG Proto SX11 with an S400 at Tommy Fleetwood specs. It could be coming your way. Let's get on with the build. Taking it out, reset everything, got the excess glue off. If this had a grip on it now, this is pretty much going to be ready to go. Let's grip it for you. It's one tape with a BCT logo down. So, logo down is referring to the manufacturer's logo on the grip. We've got two types of tape here. One is double-sided in terms of sticky, one is a build-up. Whenever there's one tape listed like that, you only want to go for the double-sided tape. I've pulled that tape to be the length. Make sure you get it nice and flat. Any creases removed, excess tape down the end. We're on good there. Fluid, I generally go with 2 lots of this on this trailer. Some builders like 1. You'll feel the grip go in to the length. We've got some alignment pieces on the top here, so I want this decal lined up with that decal. Reach up, everything's in a great place on the tour truck whenever you want to build. Clean up the area, leave it good for the next guy. Check everything is aligned, good. Now you might think that's finished, but we've just got to get rid of a little bit of extra room there, make that ferrule look nice. So we're just circling at speed to get the ferrule looking good. So just flush, doesn't need much. That is it. So all you've done now is just get rid of the burr, one more turn. Perfect. Remove the tape off the shaft. Then to clean it up, you're going to pop a little bit of acetone on there just to make that black and get rid of any grain that's come. So that gives that ferrule that nice black look. Brilliant. One last check on the swing weight. Spot on. With the scales, good. One last check on the length. Bang on. And that is an exact replica of Tommy Fleetwood's MG Proto that will be in the bag this week. If you want to get your mitts on it, subscribe to TaylorMade Golf in the description. Subscribe to Trotty Golf right here. Pick a winner. It's Saturday today. Can't be too hard to pick a winner from this point out. If you do those things, this bad boy could be coming to you. We'll announce the winner next Tour Truck Tuesday.